Most people spend their entire lives chasing money. They run after jobs, after opportunities, after side hustles, believing that if they just work harder, sacrifice more, and push themselves beyond exhaustion, then maybe, just maybe, they'll finally catch it. Yet even after all the effort, money seems to slip through their fingers. It feels delayed, elusive, and distant. What they don't realize is this: money isn't something to chase at all. Money responds. It listens. It obeys. And the moment you speak with authority, money begins to move toward you. This is the great secret, hidden in plain sight. Wealth is not a game of luck, nor is it determined by who suffers the most. Prosperity is governed by divine law, unchanging, unshakable, eternal. And within this law is one sentence, one declaration of spiritual authority that makes money respond immediately. Imagine the difference: a life where every dollar you earn comes from sweat, strain, and anxiety, versus a life where money flows to you because your words have summoned it. One path leaves you weary and fearful, never certain if your efforts will be enough. The other path places you in command, operating in harmony with the same spiritual laws that govern creation itself. Florence Scovel Shinn, one of the most remarkable spiritual teachers of the 20th century, uncovered this principle and taught it with boldness. She understood that words are not empty, they are living forces carrying the power to create, to command, and to call forth abundance. Her teachings revealed that the key to financial breakthroughs is not in chasing, but in declaring. When you learn how to speak to money, you stop bowing to it as a master and start commanding it as your servant. Today, you are going to learn how to use that power. You will discover how one sentence spoken with faith and conviction activates the law of immediate response. No more begging, no more waiting, no more wondering if wealth is for you. Money will hear you and obey. So let me ask you, are you ready to step into that authority? If you are, type it right now in the comments. Money responds to my words. This is your declaration, your beginning. Because today, money starts listening. Why does money seem to take so long to arrive? Why is it that some people work tirelessly year after year, and yet no matter how much effort they put in, the financial breakthrough never seems to come? They live on the edge of survival, always waiting, always hoping, but never receiving. The answer is not that God is withholding blessings. The answer is not that the universe has favorites. The truth is much simpler and more sobering. Delays are born from belief. It is not divine law that keeps money away. Divine law is abundant and generous. The universe is always ready to supply. What stops the flow are the words and thoughts we entertain daily. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," you shut a door. Every time you declare, "Money never stays with me," you push it away. Every time you sigh, "I'm always broke," you write that reality into your experience. These phrases may feel harmless, just little ways of expressing frustration, but in the spiritual realm, they are commands. And money, being obedient to the authority of your words, must respond accordingly. Florence Scovel Shinn often taught that our words are boomerangs. Whatever we send out returns multiplied. Speak lack, and lack returns to you. Speak delay, and delay becomes your experience. The universe does not argue with you, it simply agrees. If you say, "Money is slow," the law of mind ensures that money appears slow. If you say, "I'm waiting for things to change," you will keep waiting. This is why so many live year after year in the same financial cycles, because their own words keep resetting the pattern. But contrast this with someone who speaks differently. Picture a person who, even in the middle of financial strain, declares boldly, "Wealth flows to me now, I am divinely supplied." They refuse to rehearse lack. They refuse to make poverty their identity. Instead, they plant the seed of abundance with their words. What happens? Suddenly, doors open. A check arrives, unexpectedly. A business idea lights up in their mind. A friend calls with an opportunity. To the outside world, it may look like coincidence. But in truth, it is the law of words, responding instantly to faith-filled declarations. Money does not delay on its own. It is not hiding somewhere, waiting for the stars to align. The moment you align your words with divine abundance, the flow begins. The so-called delay is nothing more than the gap between speaking lack and learning to speak abundance. This is why we must become deeply aware of the language we use. Think back to your own life. How many times have you said, "I'll never get ahead," or "life is just expensive," or "I'll probably always be in debt"? Each of those phrases was like signing a contract with lack. Each time you spoke them, you reinforced the very delays that frustrated you. Yet the good news is this: contracts of lack can be broken the very moment you choose to speak differently. You may have inherited these phrases from family, friends, or culture. Perhaps you heard your parents struggle, saying, "Money doesn't grow on trees." Perhaps you grew up believing that wealth was only for other people. But divine law doesn't care about your background or history. It responds to your present words. That means the moment you begin to declare abundance, the moment you refuse to speak delay, the energy around you shifts. The law of supply begins to work for you. Think of it like a radio signal. If you keep broadcasting the frequency of delay, the universe tunes in and sends back situations that match. Bills pile up, opportunities pass you by, and every paycheck feels too small. But the moment you switch your frequency to abundance, the entire atmosphere changes. Money begins to move toward you. Opportunities are magnetized. People appear who want to help you. The flow quickens, not because the universe suddenly decided to favor you, but because you finally stopped commanding delay with your words. This is why Florence taught that words are the most powerful weapons we carry. They can either build a fortress of lack or open the floodgates of wealth. Every phrase matters. Every casual remark about money carries energy. If you want to end financial delay, you must first end the delay-producing speech you've been using. So here is your new declaration. I release every belief in delay. My wealth is here now. Say it aloud. Say it with conviction. Let it wash away years of unconscious speech that has blocked your prosperity. Every time the thought arises, "This will take too long," or "Money never comes quickly to me," replace it instantly with "I release every belief in delay. My wealth is here now." Understand this: wealth does not belong to tomorrow, it belongs to today. Divine supply does not trickle, it flows. The only reason it has seemed slow in your life is because your words placed a barrier in its path. Now, you are removing that barrier. To prove this point, I challenge you. For the next week, monitor every phrase you speak about money. Write them down if you have to. Notice how often you use the language of lack, then consciously replace each one with the new affirmation. If you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford it," immediately switch to, "I release every belief in delay. My wealth is here now." If you feel tempted to sigh, "I'm always broke," stop yourself and say, "My wealth is here now." This small discipline will transform your life. You will begin to notice how quickly opportunities shift. You will see signs that the universe is listening, because it always has been. The difference is that now, instead of commanding delay, you are commanding supply. So let me ask you, what are the words you've been speaking that may have blocked your wealth? What phrases have you unknowingly used to keep money at arm's length? Comment one negative money phrase you've spoken in the past, then replace it with the new affirmation, "I release every belief in delay, my wealth is here now." This is more than just typing words, it is rewriting your financial future. Wealth has never been late, it has only been waiting for you to stop commanding delay. And now, with every word you speak, you have the power to call it forth immediately. There is a truth so powerful that once you grasp it, your entire understanding of money will change forever. The universe does not respond to effort alone. It does not respond to stress, worry, or even good intention. What the universe responds to, immediately and without hesitation, is the vibration of your words spoken in faith. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that words are not empty sounds, they are spiritual commands. Every time you open your mouth to speak about your finances, you are either releasing lack or releasing abundance. And here is the law: when words are spoken with faith, they carry creative force. They set spiritual energy in motion. They pull opportunities, favor, and resources toward you with precision. The universe, which is always abundant, does not argue with your words. It simply obeys them. This is what we call the law of immediate response. Money itself has no power. It is not alive. It cannot choose whether to come or not. It is matter, and matter always responds to the vibration of the spiritual realm. Your words, when spoken with authority and conviction, set the tone. Money simply follows the vibration. If you speak lack, it obeys and leaves. If you speak abundance, it obeys and arrives. Think of this law like electricity. Electricity does not decide whether to flow, it simply follows the switch. Flip it on, and the lights appear instantly. Flip it off, and the darkness comes. No delay, no debate. That is how the spiritual law of words operates. When you speak in faith, the switch is flipped, and results can manifest within 20. Now, many people struggle to believe this. They say, if words are that powerful, why haven't I seen instant results before? The answer is in the difference between speaking with faith and speaking with doubt. Words charged with faith are like commands written in stone. They go out with power, clarity, and certainty. Words mingled with doubt are like faint whispers in the wind. They dissolve before they reach their destination. Imagine two people facing the same financial difficulty. The first one speaks weakly, saying, "I hope money shows up, but it probably won't." Their tone is hesitant, their belief is shaky, and their words are wrapped in fear. The result? Nothing changes. The universe hears uncertainty and mirrors it back with delay. But the second person, even with the same empty bank account, stands firm and declares, "Money hears me now," and comes without delay. Their voice carries conviction. They refuse to be moved by appearances. They believe that divine law is greater than circumstance. Within hours, opportunities begin to appear. An unexpected refund, a client reaching out, a gift from a family member. What changed? Not the outer world, but the command released into it. Florence used to remind her students that appearances are deceptive. If you speak words of faith but then look at your situation and doubt, you cancel the command. The law is instant, but your belief must stay steady. It's like planting a seed. Once it's in the soil, you must allow it to grow. Digging it up every few minutes to check progress will only kill it. In the same way, once you declare, you must trust. This is why your tone and your confidence matter. Think of how a king gives orders. He does not beg. He does not wonder if his servants will obey. He simply declares, knowing his authority will be honored. When you speak to money, you must do the same. You are not pleading with it, you are commanding it under divine law. Here's the critical contrast. When you speak with doubt, you sound like a beggar, asking for crumbs. When you speak with conviction, you sound like an heir, claiming what already belongs to you. Which one do you think the universe responds to? Always the heir. Always the one who knows their divine right. Now let us anchor this teaching with today's affirmation. Money hears me now and comes without delay. Say it slowly, clearly, and with certainty. Again, money hears me now and comes without delay. Feel the authority in your voice. This is not a wish, it is a command. This is not something that might happen someday, it is happening right now. To activate this law in your own life, I challenge you to repeat this line 7 times aloud, today. Not silently, not timidly. Speak it boldly, as if heaven and earth were listening, because they are. Then for the next 48 hours, watch carefully, stay alert. Pay attention to the small shifts, a new opportunity, unexpected favor, or even money appearing in ways you never expected. These are not coincidences, they are the universe responding to your command. Many people miss their blessings because they expect fireworks, when in reality divine supply often comes in practical, natural ways. A stranger recommends you for a job, a debt is suddenly reduced. A sale appears on something you needed. These are answers in motion. The more you practice this law, the more obvious and rapid the results will become. Do not underestimate the power of immediacy. When Florence taught that words have instant effect, she meant it. The universe is always listening. The spiritual realm is always active. Your delay does not come from God. It comes from speaking without belief or from canceling your declarations with fear. Once you align your words with unwavering faith, the immediate response becomes natural. So, take this moment to release hesitation. Refuse to mix doubt with your declarations. When you speak, speak as one who knows. Speak as one who has authority. Speak as one who expects money to obey. Because under divine law, it must. Again, let us seal this section with the affirmation, money hears me now, and comes without delay. Repeat it with strength, and let your spirit carry the certainty of those words. Now I challenge you, go and declare it 7 times today, then share your experience. Within the next 48 hours, you will see signs that the law of immediate response is at work in your life. And when it happens, you will know this truth beyond any doubt. Money is not your master, it is your servant, and it obeys your command. There comes a point in every spiritual journey where the fog of confusion clears and the truth stands revealed, bold and unshakable. You've learned why money seems delayed, and you've discovered that words of faith carry immediate power. Now it's time to uncover the very sentence that Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings point toward, the command that makes money respond without hesitation. That sentence is this: money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now. For many, even hearing those words stirs something deep inside. Why? Because it flips the script we've been taught our entire lives. Most people live as if money is their master. They bow to it, fear it, chase it, and suffer under its absence. They speak about it in hushed tones, as if it has the final say in their lives. But this one sentence breaks that illusion. It places money where it belongs, not as a master, but as a servant, not as a ruler, but as a tool. This command is rooted in divine law. From the very beginning, humanity was given dominion over circumstances. Florence reminded her students that life does not rule us. We rule it through our words and faith. To say, money, you are my servant, is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is stepping back into the authority that was yours all along. Consider what happens when you live the other way around, when you let money be your master. You are always anxious, checking your bank account, worrying about bills, feeling powerless. Your decisions are dictated by lack, and your energy is drained by fear. But when you stand in dominion and declare, money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now, everything shifts. Fear dissolves. Power rises. You recognize that money was never meant to command you, it was meant to serve you. Florence Scovel Shinn often said that we must speak with authority and expectancy. Authority because your words carry the weight of divine law. Expectancy because you must believe that what you declare will manifest. This sentence combines both. It commands with authority, you are my servant, and it releases with expectancy, you must obey and flow to me now. Fear of money is one of the greatest blockages to prosperity. People fear not having enough. They fear losing what little they do have. Some even fear that wanting money makes them greedy or unspiritual. But fear is always the fruit of misplaced order. When you put money on the throne and see yourself as its subject, fear is inevitable. But when you restore the correct order, money as the servant, you as the commander, fear vanishes. Think of it this way. Do you fear your servant? Do you beg them to do their duty? No, you give a clear instruction and expect it to be carried out. When you adopt this mindset with money, the nervousness around it disappears. You stop begging. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You step boldly into the truth. Money was made to serve your divine purpose. It is not something to fear. It is something to direct. Many unknowingly pray like beggars when it comes to money. They plead, please let something come through. Please God, just enough to survive. But Florence taught that begging is not faith. Begging assumes lack. True faith speaks as a child of divine abundance, not as a pauper. To declare, money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now, is to break free from the beggar's posture. It is to rise into your rightful inheritance as one who commands, not one who begs. Think of the difference. The beggar says, please help me, I have nothing. The heir says, all that belongs to me must come forth now. Which do you think the universe honors? Always the heir. Always the one who knows their authority. Words create patterns of energy. When you speak this sentence, you are programming your subconscious mind to stop chasing money and start directing it. You are instructing your spirit to stop fearing money and start commanding it. Over time, this shift becomes automatic. You stop thinking like a servant and start thinking like a master. And because divine law responds to your belief, your outer world begins to match your inner command. Opportunities appear. Resources align. Money flows, not because you begged, but because you commanded in alignment with spiritual law. This is not wishful thinking. It is law in action. Just as gravity always pulls downward, words of faith always pull provision toward you. So how do you use this sentence? You speak it aloud, daily, with conviction. Not softly, not timidly, but as if you were giving an order that must be obeyed. Imagine you are addressing money itself, and it is standing before you, ready to serve. You say, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now." When you speak, let your voice carry authority. See money responding, moving, aligning itself with your needs and desires. Do not question how it will happen. That is not your concern. Your role is to declare, the universe's role is to deliver. Let's compare two approaches. One person whispers nervously, "I hope money comes soon." Their words lack authority, their energy is scattered. The result, nothing moves. Another person declares boldly, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now." Their words are firm, their spirit aligned. Within days, opportunities open, provision arrives, favor appears. The difference is not in luck, the difference is in the authority behind the words. Now let us seal this truth with today's affirmation. Money, you are my servant, you obey and flow to me now. Say it aloud, again with conviction. Feel the authority in your voice. Let it echo in your spirit. Every repetition is breaking chains of fear and rewriting the script of your financial life. But don't stop there. I want you to anchor this declaration publicly. Type it boldly in the comments. Money obeys me now. Why? Because when you declare publicly, you affirm your faith before others. You take it beyond thought and make it real. You tell your subconscious and the universe, "This is my truth, and I will not back down from it." From this moment forward, never again see money as your master. It does not control you. It does not intimidate you. It serves you. It responds to you. It obeys you. The sentence has been revealed. Use it daily, speak it boldly, believe it fully, and watch as money begins to flow in ways that will leave you amazed. Say it with me once more. Money, you are my servant. You obey and flow to me now. There is a reason some people repeat affirmations for weeks, months, even years, and yet see no real change in their finances. They say the words but nothing happens. Their lives remain stuck in cycles of lack, delay, and frustration. And then there are others who speak a single sentence with fire, and within days doors swing open, opportunities appear, and money flows as if the entire universe suddenly woke up on their behalf. What makes the difference? It is not the length of the prayer, the beauty of the words, or even the number of times they are spoken. The difference is faith. Words without belief are powerless. Words infused with faith are unstoppable. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that words are not magic charms. They are containers of energy, and the energy they carry depends entirely on the spirit in which they are spoken. When words are spoken with fear, doubt, or hesitation, they are empty shells. They go out weak and return with nothing. But when words are spoken with conviction, when they are charged with faith, they carry divine authority. They manifest results because they echo the very nature of spiritual law. Think of it like electricity. You can have a perfectly working light bulb, but if there's no power running through the wire, nothing happens. In the same way, you can speak affirmations day and night, but if faith is missing, the current never flows. The bulb stays dark. It is not the bulb's fault. It is not the universe withholding light. The issue is that the power has not been turned on. Faith is that power. We've all heard weak words. They sound like this. I hope money comes soon. I think maybe things will get better. I guess I'll try this affirmation. There is no certainty in them, no force, no authority. They are murmurs of wishful thinking. And the universe, hearing the faint signal, responds in kind, delayed, uncertain, faint results. Take the example of a man who repeated daily, "I am rich, I am rich, I am rich." But each time he said it, his tone carried more sarcasm than faith. Inside he was thinking, "This is silly, I'm broke, nothing is changing." Outwardly, he repeated the affirmation. Inwardly, he cancelled it. Months passed, and nothing shifted. Why? Because the words were empty, they had no life in them. Now compare that to the woman who stood in her small apartment, with overdue bills on the table, and declared boldly, "Money, you are my servant, you obey and flow to me now." She didn't whisper it. She didn't doubt it. She spoke it as if heaven itself had to listen. Within days, her boss offered her a raise she hadn't expected. A friend repaid an old debt. Money began to flow not because she begged, but because she believed. This is the difference between weak words and words of faith. Weak words echo the voice of fear. Strong words carry the vibration of certainty, and certainty attracts results. When you speak affirmations, your tone matters. Your voice reveals your inner state. If your voice trembles, your doubt is obvious. If your tone is flat, your spirit is not engaged. But when your voice carries authority, when it is steady, strong, and unwavering, the energy is undeniable. You are no longer wishing. You are commanding. Imagine a general giving orders to his soldiers. He does not stammer or plead. He speaks once, with certainty, and expects immediate action. That is how you must speak to money. Not as a beggar asking for mercy, but as a commander enforcing divine law. Here is how to build the habit of speaking with faith. Stand tall. Your posture affects your energy. When you slump, you signal defeat. When you stand tall, you embody authority. Speak your affirmations standing, with shoulders back, as if addressing the universe directly. Engage your voice. Do not mumble. Do not whisper in hesitation. Speak clearly, firmly, and with conviction. Your voice should carry certainty even if no one else is in the room. Engage your emotions. Faith is not robotic. It carries feeling. Let your words stir you. Let them excite you. As you declare wealth, feel the joy of already receiving it. This emotional charge is what electrifies your words. Repeat consistently. Faith grows through repetition. The more you speak with authority, the more your subconscious accepts it as truth. Soon, your inner doubts dissolve, and your words flow with natural power. Detach from appearances. Do not look at your circumstances to validate your words. Appearances always lag behind spiritual law. Speak your affirmations as truth, regardless of what your eyes see. Florence told the story of a woman who, when faced with financial ruin, declared daily, "God is my supply, and there is a perfect way for me now." She refused to be shaken by what she saw. Within weeks, a business opportunity arrived that rescued her situation and set her on a new path of prosperity. Her words worked because they were spoken with unwavering faith. Contrast that with countless others who say, "I'll try this for a few days and see what happens." They are testing the law rather than trusting it. And because they test without faith, nothing shifts. The law is exact. It mirrors the spirit in which it is invoked. Let us anchor this section with a new declaration. I speak with faith, and my words manifest wealth now. Say it aloud, not timidly, not half-heartedly. Speak it as if your life depended on it. Speak it as if the money was already on its way, because it is. Feel the certainty. Feel the authority. Every time you declare this, you are charging your words with the energy of faith. Now, here is your engagement challenge. Record yourself saying the one sentence, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now, every day, for the next 7 days." Speak it boldly, with conviction, and watch your own transformation. When you hear yourself speaking with authority, your subconscious cannot deny it. You will begin to believe your own words more deeply, and belief is what activates manifestation. Then, share your results in the comments. Did money arrive in unexpected ways? Did an opportunity open up? Did you feel your confidence rise? By declaring publicly, you anchor your faith and inspire others to step into their authority as well. Never forget, affirmations are not magic in themselves. They are vehicles for faith, and faith is the power that moves mountains, shifts circumstances, and calls money to attention. Speak as a master, not a servant. Speak as one who commands, not one who pleads. Speak with faith, and your words will not return empty. So once more, declare with me. I speak with faith, and my words manifest wealth now. Let that truth sink into your spirit. For when your words carry faith, money cannot resist you. It must respond and it must obey. You can speak the most powerful words of wealth. You can declare them every morning and night. But if those words are tangled with doubt, hesitation, or fear, their power is drained. Even the strongest affirmation becomes weak when it is spoken from a divided heart. This is why so many people try affirmations and then complain, "It didn't work for me." The truth is, the words worked, but resistance canceled the result. Resistance is subtle. It doesn't always show up as outright disbelief. Often, it hides in the form of constant worry, hesitation, or the endless question, how will it come? You declare, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now," but then you spend the next hour pacing the floor, wondering, will it come from my job? Will it come from a friend? What if nothing happens? This double-mindedness interrupts the flow. You plant a seed with your words, but you dig it up again with your doubts. Florence Scovel Shinn was clear on this. Faith does not ask how. Faith declares the end and trusts the means to divine wisdom. The moment you begin asking how, you are no longer resting in faith. You are wrestling with fear. It is not your job to control the channel through which money comes. It is your job to speak with conviction, release resistance, and trust that supply is already moving toward you. Imagine a river flowing freely downhill. That river is divine supply, always abundant, always moving toward you. Now imagine building a dam across it. The water is still flowing, but your resistance blocks it from reaching you. Doubt is that dam. Fear is that wall. Resistance doesn't stop supply from existing. It just stops it from reaching your life. This is why people say, "I've been affirming for weeks, but nothing is happening." The truth is, something is happening. Supply has been released. But the resistance in your own thoughts has created a blockage. The universe can only respond to what you truly believe. If your words say yes, but your heart says maybe, the law is neutralized. Let's draw the contrast more clearly. The voice of doubt says, what if it doesn't work? What if I'm just fooling myself? What if I declare and nothing changes? The voice of faith says, this already works for me. Money flows faithfully to me now. What I speak with conviction must appear. The voice of doubt drains energy. It causes you to hesitate, second guess, and eventually give up. The voice of faith energizes you. It gives you peace even before the result shows up. It allows you to rest, knowing the outcome is already secure. Most people are addicted to struggle. They believe that unless something is hard, it cannot be valuable. They work harder, stress more, and wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. But this mindset belongs to those who have never learned the art of surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate expression of faith. To surrender is to say, I have spoken the word. I trust the law. I no longer struggle. I receive. Florence taught that the law of prosperity cannot work for you while you are clinging to fear. Struggle is rooted in fear. Fear of not enough, fear of failure, fear of disappointment. But when you surrender, you let go of the how and rest in the now. You know it is already done, even before it arrives. That knowing is what dissolves resistance and allows the river of supply to flow unobstructed. One of the greatest causes of resistance is impatience. People say, if I don't see results in 24 hours, this must not be working. But divine timing does not operate on your clock. Sometimes the answer is immediate. Other times it must align with factors you cannot see. But whether fast or slow, the law always delivers when you remain steadfast in faith. Florence would often remind her students, never force a picture. Let divine ideas come through. This means you don't have to scheme, manipulate, or panic about when money will arrive. Your job is simply to align with truth, keep your words steady, and rest in assurance. When you let go of the need to control timing, you release resistance, you stop holding your blessing hostage, and you allow it to appear in the perfect way. Think about planting a seed in the ground. You water it, you trust the soil, and you allow it to grow. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's working. In the same way, when you speak your affirmation, you must let go of the how. You don't need to know which channel money will use to arrive. It may come from your job, a client, a refund, or even a complete stranger. Your job is to speak the truth and trust the process. As Florence said, your word is your wand, but a wand only works when wielded with faith. If you wave it and then doubt it, nothing happens. If you wave it and trust, miracles appear. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. The moment you hear yourself asking how, stop, replace it with I release doubt, money flows freely and faithfully to me now. Stop counting days and hours. Instead, affirm, divine timing is always perfect, and I receive now. Gratitude neutralizes fear. Each time doubt creeps in, shift your focus to gratitude for what you already have and for what is on its way. The subconscious is most receptive just before you fall asleep. Affirm nightly, I release resistance, my wealth flows freely. Allow your subconscious to carry that truth into the night. Now let us anchor this lesson with today's declaration. I release doubt, money flows freely and faithfully to me now. Say it aloud with conviction. Feel the chains of resistance breaking. Every time you declare this, you are dismantling the dam of fear and allowing divine supply to flow toward you unhindered. Here is your challenge. Type the words I release resistance in the comments right now. Then tonight, before you fall asleep, spend a few minutes repeating the affirmation, I release doubt, money flows freely and faithfully to me now. Do this for one night with sincerity, and you will begin to feel the shift. Your heart will grow lighter, your mind will find peace, and that peace is the signal that resistance has been released. Remember this. Doubt does not mean the law has failed. It only means you have stepped out of alignment with it. The law is constant. Supply is constant. The only variable is whether you resist or release. So stop asking how. Stop clinging to fear. Stop holding your blessings hostage with hesitation. Speak your word, release resistance, and trust that it is already done. For when you let go, you do not lose control, you gain flow. Once more, declare with me. I release doubt. Money flows freely and faithfully to me now. Let that truth settle into your spirit. Because when resistance is gone, nothing can stop the wealth that is already yours. The power of this one sentence, money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now, is not theory. It is not just an idea to entertain or a phrase to memorize. It is a living law, and when spoken with faith, it produces tangible results. People across every walk of life, from different circumstances, have seen how quickly money responds when commanded in alignment with divine law. These stories are not accidents, nor are they coincidences. They are manifestations of spiritual speech in action. Florence Scovel Shinn herself documented countless testimonies of people who shifted their financial reality almost overnight by applying the principles of commanding words. The universe does not make exceptions, it does not favor some while ignoring others. It simply obeys the authority of faith-filled words. Let us explore real-life manifestations, stories of how people, just like you, saw wealth flow with speed and precision once they dared to speak with authority. A young woman once found herself facing eviction. Her rent was overdue, and she had no means to pay it. Fear consumed her until she remembered Florence's teaching. Your word is your wand. That night she stood in her tiny apartment, trembling but determined, and declared aloud, money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now. She repeated it several times, letting her voice grow stronger each time until the fear gave way to faith. The very next morning, she received a letter in the mail. It was a refund check from an overpayment she had made months earlier, a sum large enough to cover her rent in full with extra left over. What had shifted, not the outer world at random. Her command released the supply that had been waiting for her. Another man carried the weight of debt for years. Every month he struggled just to make minimum payments, and the anxiety gnawed at his peace. He began practicing Florence's affirmations but felt little change until he added the command, money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now. He spoke it daily, not begging but commanding, and he refused to mix his words with doubt. Within weeks, he received an unexpected phone call. His creditor informed him that, due to an internal adjustment and policy change, a large portion of his debt was being forgiven. Just like that, thousands of dollars vanished from his burden. This was not luck, it was law. His words, filled with faith, set into motion events that freed him. One woman, a small business owner, faced the fear of closing her doors. She had no clients lined up and was running out of resources. That night, she remembered Florence's teaching on speaking with expectancy. She stood in her living room and declared, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now." She repeated it boldly, then released it, choosing to rest instead of worrying. The next morning, an email landed in her inbox. A corporate client, who had found her through a referral, was eager to book her services, and the contract amount was enough to keep her business running for months. She laughed and cried, realizing she had just witnessed divine law in action. Sometimes money flows through channels we would never anticipate. A man who had been affirming with faith declared this sentence with authority before heading to sleep. "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now." The very next day, a close friend visited him and, without knowing his situation, handed him an envelope. Inside was cash, more than enough to cover his urgent expenses. The friend explained that he had felt nudged to bless him. This is the beauty of divine law. Money doesn't always come through predictable means. When commanded, it can arrive from unexpected hands, as if the universe itself whispers into the hearts of others to deliver what you declare. One testimony tells of a man who had been unemployed for months, growing discouraged with each passing day. He decided to stop sending applications from a place of desperation and instead began commanding with authority. Each morning he declared, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now." Within 48 hours of beginning this practice, he received a phone call from a company he had never applied to. They had found his resume online and wanted to offer him a position. The offer not only came with a generous salary, but also benefits he had never expected. This is the law in action. Money flowed because he commanded, and opportunities aligned themselves in ways beyond his imagination. You may hear these testimonies and think, that's just coincidence. But Florence Scovel Shinn would say, there are no coincidences when the law of words is at work. These manifestations are evidence that when you shift from begging to commanding, from fear to faith, the universe obeys. Each of these people could have chosen doubt. They could have whispered their affirmations half-heartedly. They could have given up when nothing seemed to change, but they didn't. They spoke with authority, they believed, and they released resistance. And because divine law is faithful, the results followed. The law of words does not require years. Florence taught that manifestations can appear within 24 to 48 hours, when the words are charged with faith. Notice in these stories how quickly things shifted, refunds arriving the next day, clients emailing overnight, phone calls coming within hours. These are not delays. They are immediate responses to spoken authority. The more faith you carry, the faster the response. The moment you doubt, you slow the current. But the moment you believe fully, the law has no choice but to deliver. Money cannot resist faith-filled commands. Let us declare together, money cannot resist me. It shows up quickly and abundantly. Say it with conviction. Feel the truth of it. Each repetition is a reminder that money is not elusive, not distant, not delayed. It responds quickly when commanded with faith. Now it's your turn. Think back over the last few days or weeks. Has money already appeared in small, unexpected ways since you began practicing these affirmations? Maybe you found cash in your coat pocket, received a discount you didn't anticipate, or had someone buy you a meal. These are not small accidents. They are signs that money is responding. Share one story or testimony in the comments below. Write it boldly, no matter how small. By sharing, you anchor the truth that the law is already at work in your life, and you inspire others to believe. These stories are not rare miracles. They are evidence of a universal law in motion. Just as gravity works for everyone, so does the law of words. When you command money with faith, it must obey. When you speak boldly, money cannot resist you. So today, stop treating your words as empty. Begin to speak them with conviction, with authority, and with expectancy. And then watch as the same kinds of stories unfold in your life. Refund checks, debts canceled, clients arriving, opportunities opening. Say it again. boldly. Money cannot resist me. It shows up quickly and abundantly. This is not just an affirmation, it is a law. Speak it, believe it, and prepare to live it. Repetition is the mother of mastery. One sentence spoken once with conviction can spark change, but one sentence spoken daily with discipline and faith becomes unstoppable. The difference between those who see fleeting results and those who experience lasting transformation is simple: consistency. Casual repetition may produce small ripples, but committed, faith-filled practice creates waves that carry abundance into every area of life. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her students that faith is not a one-time event, it is a lifestyle. To command money once is to plant a seed. To command money daily is to tend a garden until it bears continual harvest. If you want to live a life where wealth flows to you naturally, without delay, you must build a daily practice around the money command. The first words you speak each day set the tone for everything that follows. Most people wake up and immediately think about their problems. They check their bank account, sigh, and begin their day in lack. But you are different. You are learning to command money as your servant, and that begins the moment you open your eyes. Before you reach for your phone or engage the world, declare, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now." Say it boldly, even before you get out of bed. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and let your words charge the atmosphere around you. These are not empty syllables, they are orders given to the universe, instructions to your subconscious mind, and commands to the flow of supply. Follow this with the affirmation of the day. Every day I declare wealth, and every day wealth responds. This morning ritual flips the spiritual switch. Instead of starting in fear or doubt, you start in dominion. And the rest of the day begins to align with that vibration. After your declaration, spend a few minutes visualizing the result. Close your eyes and see money flowing to you like a rushing river. Picture the bills on your desk being paid with ease. Imagine your bank account swelling with deposits. See yourself living in abundance, buying what you need, giving generously, living freely. Visualization trains the mind to expect what the mouth declares. When you see wealth responding in your imagination, your subconscious accepts it as reality. And because the subconscious directs behavior and magnetizes energy, the outer world begins to reflect what you've already pictured within. Florence called this imaging the end. You do not visualize the struggle, you visualize the fulfillment. You see the prayer already answered, the command already obeyed, and by holding that picture, you accelerate manifestation. After declaring and visualizing, take time each morning to write down at least 5 things you are grateful for, both what you already have and what is on its way. Gratitude is the bridge between command and manifestation. It says, "I believe the money is already here, so I thank you now." Write statements like, "I am grateful that money flows to me with ease. I am grateful that unexpected opportunities bless me daily. I am grateful that every bill is paid in full. I am grateful that abundance surrounds me now." When you combine gratitude with command, you create a magnetic force. Gratitude dissolves resistance, keeps your energy open, and invites supply to flow faster. As you move through your day, there will be moments when old habits of fear try to creep back in. A bill arrives, a purchase feels heavy, you notice a dip in your account. In those moments, most people slip back into worry, but not you. You must respond instantly with your command, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now." Say it under your breath if you must. Write it on sticky notes. Keep it on the lock screen of your phone. Every time fear tries to whisper, you silence it with authority. This is not obsession, it is alignment. You are retraining your mind and reminding your spirit of the truth. The final moments before sleep are powerful. Your subconscious is most open in this window, and whatever you plant there will take root overnight. Do not go to bed with worry. Do not fall asleep rehearsing problems. Instead, end your day the way you began it, with authority. Say aloud, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now." Then repeat the affirmation, "Every day I declare wealth, and every day wealth responds." Let those words be the last thing your mind hears. Drift into sleep, believing that money is already moving toward you. As you rest, your subconscious will work on your behalf, aligning you with opportunities, ideas, and favor that manifest in your waking life. Here lies the great divide between those who succeed and those who give up. Casual repetition is half-hearted. It sounds like, "I'll try this for a few days and see if anything happens." This attitude carries doubt, and doubt drains power. Faith-filled consistency, however, is unstoppable. It sounds like, "I will declare daily until it becomes my reality. I will not waver. I will not stop." This attitude carries certainty, and certainty magnetizes results. One woman casually repeated affirmations for a week, but her heart was not in it. When nothing changed, she quit. Another woman in the same situation declared daily with authority for 30 days. Within that month, she received unexpected financial gifts, landed a new job, and paid off debts she had carried for years. The difference wasn't the words, it was the consistency, the faith, the discipline. Florence said, "A man's word is his wand, but a wand unused is powerless. To wield it daily, with conviction, is to master the law." Now it is your turn. I challenge you to commit to 30 days of commanding money. Each day, morning and night, declare with authority, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now." Pair it with the affirmation, "Every day I declare wealth, and every day wealth responds." Visualize the results. Journal your gratitude. Speak boldly whenever fear arises. Do this, not casually, but faithfully. 30 days of consistency will begin to shift your energy so deeply that commanding money will no longer feel like practice. It will feel like your nature. If you're ready to take this challenge, declare it publicly now. Type in the comments, 30 days of commanding money. By writing it, you make a covenant with yourself. You declare to the universe that you are serious, committed, and ready for transformation. Discipline turns words into habits, and habits into reality. When you build a daily practice of commanding money, you stop treating prosperity as something random and start living it as a lifestyle. Each morning you declare. Each day you visualize and give thanks. Each night you seal the truth, and with each repetition, the flow of wealth becomes stronger and faster. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. The universe does not resist those who speak with consistency and faith. Money is not in control, you are. Money is your servant, and daily you must remind it of its role. So once more, with full conviction, declare. Every day I declare wealth, and every day wealth responds. Commit to the 30 days and watch as commanding money becomes second nature, and prosperity becomes your daily experience. When most people hear the word wealth, they think of greed, materialism, or selfish gain. For centuries, money has been portrayed as dangerous or corrupting. Phrases like, "money is the root of all evil," have lodged themselves deep into the collective mindset, leaving many to believe that pursuing prosperity is somehow unspiritual. But Florence Scovel Shinn taught something radically different. True wealth is not about greed. It is about divine purpose. Money itself is neutral. It has no morality, no intention. It is simply a tool, and like any tool, it serves the purpose of the one who wields it. A hammer can build a home or destroy one. It depends on the hands that hold it. In the same way, wealth can be used selfishly to hoard and harm, or it can be used divinely to uplift, serve, and expand the work of love on earth. The difference lies in consciousness. This is why commanding money is not selfish. It is not about chasing luxury for its own sake, or stacking accounts for ego's pride. It is about recognizing money as a servant of divine will. When you say, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now," you are not bowing to greed, you are stepping into alignment with a greater truth. Money was designed to serve the purposes of good. Think of what happens when money flows to someone rooted in divine consciousness. They do not spend it recklessly. They do not hoard it in fear. They use it as a channel of service. They provide for their families. They give generously to those in need. They create businesses that employ others, feeding entire households. They invest in causes that uplift humanity. Their wealth becomes a river that blesses everyone it touches. Florence always tied prosperity to service. She reminded her students that prosperity is not for selfish indulgence, but for the expansion of divine work. God delights in your abundance because your abundance enables you to bless others. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot fund good works if your own table is bare. To step into wealth is to expand your ability to serve. The belief that poverty is somehow more spiritual than prosperity has held countless people in chains. They imagine that being poor is holy, that struggling for every coin is noble, that wanting more is sinful. But what purpose does poverty serve? How does it help you fulfill your calling? Can you feed the hungry when you are hungry yourself? Can you clothe the poor when you can barely clothe your own children? Poverty does not honor God. Lack does not elevate your spirit. Struggle does not make you holy. It makes you weary. It distracts you. It consumes your energy with survival instead of service. True spirituality is not about renouncing abundance, but about stewarding it wisely. Wealth expands your reach. Wealth amplifies your voice. Wealth empowers your service. When you reframe wealth this way, commanding money no longer feels selfish, it feels sacred. You realize that every dollar that flows into your hands can be used to bless lives. Money is not your master, it is your instrument. It bends to your divine purpose. Wealth brings freedom, the freedom to live in alignment with your purpose, without being enslaved by fear. When bills no longer weigh you down, your mind is free to create, to serve, to innovate. When money is flowing, you are free to say yes to divine assignments without hesitation. Wealth removes the shackles of limitation and places you in a position of empowerment. Think of a mother who commands money and receives it in abundance. Now she can provide for her children's education, give them opportunities she never had, and raise them without the fear of scarcity. Think of a man who commands money and uses it to build a community center in his neighborhood, creating safe spaces for children who might otherwise fall into despair. Think of a businesswoman who commands money and uses her prosperity to fund charities, schools, and hospitals. This is the true purpose of wealth, not greed, but freedom and service. Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings were always anchored in this vision. She knew that prosperity was not a trap, but a gift. She warned her students never to see wealth as an end in itself, but as a means to fulfill their higher calling. She often said, "Man cannot receive what he cannot see himself receiving." In other words, you must see yourself not only as wealthy but as wealthy with purpose. When you visualize abundance, do not just picture cars or homes, picture the lives you will touch. See yourself writing the check to help someone in crisis. See yourself funding projects that spread light and truth. See yourself living in joy and freedom, not for ego but for divine expression. This is why the money command is so powerful. It is not about greed, it is about alignment. It is about putting money back in its rightful place as a servant of love, a channel of divine good, a tool for blessing. Here's how to anchor this truth in your own life. Write down one way money can serve your higher calling. Is it caring for family, supporting a cause, building something meaningful? Name it. Stop fearing money or idolizing it. See it as a neutral servant that takes on the mission you assign to it. Each time you declare the money command, connect it to purpose. Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now, so I may serve and bless others. Even before the millions arrive, start using what you have to bless others. This proves to your subconscious and the universe that your intention is aligned with service. Let us declare together, my wealth serves divine purpose and blesses many lives. Say it aloud. Speak it with conviction. Let it shift your perception of money from selfishness to sacredness. Each time you affirm this, you anchor the truth that wealth is not about you alone. It is about the ripple effect you create in the world. Now I want to hear from you. Write in the comments one way you will use your money to bless others once it arrives. It could be helping a family member, funding a project, giving to a cause, or simply spreading kindness. Declare it now. When you share it, you set the intention in motion, and the universe begins to align resources for that purpose. Money was never meant to enslave you. It was meant to serve you. And when you direct it toward divine purpose, it becomes holy. It becomes sacred. It becomes the river through which love, peace, and empowerment flow into the world. So the next time you command money, remember this: you are not just summoning wealth for yourself, you are summoning resources for divine work. You are expanding your ability to serve. You are blessing lives that have not yet met you. Once more, declare with me: my wealth serves divine purpose and blesses many lives. This is the higher calling of prosperity. Not greed, not fear, not ego, purpose, service, divine alignment. When you live this way, money flows naturally, joyfully, and abundantly, for it knows it has a holy mission to fulfill through you. The beauty of this teaching is not only in the words themselves, but in the transformation they bring when practiced consistently. When you commit to declaring, "Money, you are my servant, you must obey and flow to me now," day after day, something profound begins to shift. At first, it may feel like a practice, but soon it becomes your nature. The words sink deeper into your subconscious, reprogramming the way you see yourself, the way you see money, and the way you see life. This shift is not imaginary, it is inevitable. The law of words does not fail. Just as gravity always pulls downward, words always manifest their kind. If you keep declaring with faith, wealth must obey. And as wealth obeys, your life begins to transform. Close your eyes and imagine yourself a year from now, living in full alignment with divine prosperity. Your home is no longer filled with the tension of unpaid bills or the weight of financial fear. Instead, it radiates peace. You walk through your door and feel gratitude rather than anxiety. The fridge is full, the lights are on, and everything you need is already provided. Your relationships are lighter too. No more arguments about money. No more silent tension when expenses come up. Instead, there is laughter, generosity, and freedom. You give gifts without hesitation. You bless family and friends without worry. Your conversations shift from "how will we manage" to "what can we create, give, and build next." And within yourself, peace reigns. You no longer wake up in panic or fall asleep rehearsing fears. You rest in the knowing that money responds to you. You know it flows. You know it serves you. And because you know this, your energy is calm, your mind is clear, and your spirit is light. This is not fantasy. This is the reality that awaits anyone who practices the law of words with consistency. Florence Scovel Shinn's students shared countless testimonies of how their lives transformed when they spoke their words with faith. One woman, once drowning in debt, declared daily, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now." Within months, not only were her debts paid, but she had savings in the bank for the first time in her life. She described the transformation as stepping from fear into freedom. Another man, who had spent years struggling with inconsistent income, began the daily practice of commanding money and visualizing abundance. His breakthrough came when he received a new position at work, one that doubled his income. He didn't chase it, he didn't beg for it. It was offered to him, aligned perfectly with his skills. He said, "I didn't just get a job, I got my peace back." Then there was the young couple who decided to practice together. Each morning and night, they declared the command, visualized their prosperous future, and kept gratitude journals. Within 6 months, they went from barely scraping by to purchasing their first home. They said it wasn't just about the house, it was about the joy of building a life free from the chains of life. These stories are not rare miracles. They are patterns. They are proof that transformation always follows consistent practice of the law. Affirmations ignite the law. Visualization fuels it. When you see yourself already living the outcome, you align your subconscious with the end result. And because the subconscious directs behavior and energy, your outer life begins to match the inner picture. This is why Florence urged her students not only to declare but to imagine. She called it seeing yourself already there. If you want financial freedom, don't just hope for it. See it, feel it, experience it in your mind until it becomes your default vision. Each time you visualize, you dissolve doubt. Each time you picture the life you desire, you tell your subconscious, "This is real, this is who I am." And the more vividly you hold the vision, the faster the law works to match it. Here is how you can bring this into your daily routine. After declaring the money command, close your eyes. See yourself in abundance. Imagine walking into your home filled with peace, looking at your bank account overflowing with funds, paying every bill with joy. Feel the emotions. Don't just see it. Feel the gratitude, relief, and excitement. Let those feelings wash over you until they feel real. Hold it for at least 5 minutes. The longer you stay in the vision, the deeper it imprints into your subconscious. Seal it with gratitude. Whisper, "Thank you, it is already mine." Do this daily, and your vision will begin to shape your reality. Let us seal this section with today's affirmation. I see myself wealthy, free, and aligned with divine prosperity now. Say it aloud. Picture it as you speak it. See the wealth. Feel the freedom. Align with the prosperity that is already yours. Each time you affirm this, you dissolve the old picture of lack and paint a new one of abundance. Now it is your turn. In the comments, write these words. I see myself wealthy now. Then commit to holding that vision daily for the next 30 days. Each time you declare it, close your eyes and see the wealth, the freedom, the peace already in your life. This is not just a statement, it is a practice that reprograms your future. Transformation is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of law. The law of words guarantees that what you declare with faith must manifest. The law of vision guarantees that what you see with conviction must appear. Combine the two, and your life cannot remain the same. So picture it now, your debts paid, your home at peace, your relationships thriving, your heart resting in abundance. This is not a dream. This is your inevitable future when you live by the law of command and visualization. Once more, declare it. I see myself wealthy, free, and aligned with divine prosperity now. Hold that vision, live in that energy, and watch as the universe responds with transformation beyond anything you imagine. As we come to the close of this journey, pause and take in what has been revealed. You have not just heard teachings, you have been reminded of a spiritual law that has always been at work in your life. Words are not small things, words are not whispers lost in the air. Words are commands, containers of power, the very instruments through which the universe responds. And now you know the truth. Money itself is not your master, it is your servant. It has ears to hear, and it must obey when spoken to with faith. For too long, many have lived bowed down under the weight of money, chasing it, fearing it, begging for it. But today you rise into your rightful position. You are no longer a slave to circumstance. You are no longer a servant to money's whims. You are the one with authority. You are the one whose words carry divine backing. You are the one who declares, and the law fulfilled. So hear this blessing. May you never again speak lack. May the words of your mouth be words of power, words that summon abundance, words that declare prosperity into being. May every phrase you utter be aligned with truth, dripping with faith, and filled with expectation. May your tongue be a wellspring of wealth, not just for yourself, but for all whose lives you touch. I call forth divine guidance for you now. May your inner ear be tuned to wisdom so you know when to act, where to move, and which opportunities to seize. May divine favor surround you, so doors swing open at the sound of your command. May every resistance within you dissolve, every doubt, every hesitation, every fear, so that your words flow pure and strong, unhindered by disbelief. May you walk in such confidence that wealth becomes as natural to you as breathing. Do not underestimate what you carry. You are not ordinary. You are not powerless. You are a vessel of divine authority. When you say, "Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now," you are not repeating a phrase. You are enforcing a law. You are speaking with the authority of the universe behind you. And because of that, money has no choice but to respond. So let us declare together, one final time, the central sentence that has been our focus. Money, you are my servant. You must obey and flow to me now. Say it aloud, with conviction. Say it as the master, not the beggar. Let those words settle deep in your soul until they become your lifelong declaration. This is not just for today. This is not for a season. This is for life. Every time you speak it, you anchor yourself again in the truth of your dominion. And now let us seal it with the affirmation of worthiness. I am worthy of divine wealth and open to receiving limitless abundance. This is who you are, worthy, chosen, abundant. You do not have to earn it by endless toil. You do not have to beg for scraps. You receive, because it is your birthright, your inheritance, your divine design. The moment you align your words with this truth, the floodgates of supply open, and money flows. So here is my blessing over you. May your days ahead be filled with provision. May unexpected money arrive with ease. May debts dissolve, bills be paid, and doors of opportunity burst open. May wealth not only come but remain, multiplying and circulating for the good of many. May you walk in freedom, never again shackled by fear of lack. And may you live as a testimony that prosperity is not greed, it is divine alignment. As you leave this moment, carry the truth with you. You are no longer waiting for money. Money is waiting for you. It stands ready, ears open, hands full, waiting for your command. Speak with authority, and it will obey. Speak with faith, and it will rush to serve. Speak with expectancy, and it will never delay. Now I invite you to anchor this in public declaration. Type these words boldly in the comments. Amen. Money obeys me now. Do not whisper it to yourself alone. Declare it openly as a sign of your faith. By doing so, you not only seal your own command, but you encourage others to rise into their authority too. Let this be the beginning of a new life. A life where words are not wasted. A life where faith speaks louder than fear. A life where money does not rule you, but serves you. A life where abundance flows freely, and prosperity becomes your natural state. So once more, let us declare it together. I am worthy of divine wealth, and open to receiving limitless abundance. This is your truth. This is your inheritance. This is your reality now. Walk in it, live in it, and watch as the universe proves faithful to every word you speak. And so it is.